Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session with WorqHat. So, WorqHat is an online edtech platform where we are connecting the university students and the fresh graduates to educators, subject matter experts, professional trainers, mentors, industries, and as well as their peers, so that we can help the students build a better future for themselves. As we believe that students learn and understand concepts much better when they live, work, and earn from it. So, today we have with us Ms.Asmita Sengupta. She is an independent corporate trainer with more than 12 years of learning and development experience and with 20 years of total work experience. She is a corporate trainer specialized in developing a whole range of behavioral skills in an employee, in university students and fresh graduates, making them competent, effective, and oriented at work. So, thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today.
You are most welcome, Shagnik. It's my pleasure to be on the platform of WorqHat, and I'm really appreciating all the body of work that you have started to engage yourself in. I wish you all the best for your
Thank you so much, ma'am.
future endeavors. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for being an important part of the entire mentor community at WorqHat because we do believe that you become an important addition in helping the students build a better future for themselves. So starting off, so ma'am, I would love to get a short brief introduction about you and how your experience as a mentor has been over the past 12 years.
Okay, Shagnik, one word would be rewarding. And if you ask me what kind of reward, it's not only monetary reward. It's not only material reward. It's rewards in terms of appreciation, in terms of trust, in terms of somebody looking up to you and believing in you, asking you for help. In fact, sharing their problems, if even their personal challenges with you, and asking you for before making any major career decision. These are the rewards that I have received so far from my trainees, from my participants, with whom I have not only given them learning, but I have also learned a lot in the process. So we've mutually grown. So it is always been very rewarding for me, Shagnik.
Sure. Thank you so much. Because as I mentioned earlier, all our mentors, like even when we look into a startup community and when we look into building a startup ourselves, we consider our mentors to be the role models who can actually guide us through the entire journey and who can
Yeah.
actually help us out in patches. And that is why we wanted to build a platform where we could connect experienced mentors like you with every university student who's looking for guidance. So now
Right.
I'll jump right into the profiles that we built for you on WorqHat. And starting off, the first profile that we built for you was on stress management. Now, when we look into university students and fresh graduates right now, we
Hmm.
do find that these students are the most common victims of stress. And there are factors like financial expenses, overcommitment, family expectations, deadline and workloads, and all these things induce a sense of stress within the university students and fresh graduates. So, how do you, as a mentor, feel that it becomes very important for them to manage the stress and how they should go ahead and manage the stressful workload?
Yes, Shagnik. This is a very heartbreaking observation, from a mentor's perspective, and also from the perspective of a mother or a parent or a grown up, that the childhood and the kind of life that the students have taken and the students have got into so far is not similar to what we were. We had a more simpler life. We had a more happier and a more uncomplicated life, which they do not have, and that has led them to all kind of complications and stress. Stress is a very new word for this age group, for the students, for the graduates, for the freshers. For us, stress used to be something that comes as a package as we grow up, as we join job, or as we get into a family or whatever. But for them, it's no more like that. So for them, stress comes from the academic pressure. For them, stress comes from work pressure. Also, very importantly, the lifestyle that they lead. I mean, if you talk about the millennials, the kind of dependency they have on social media and the kind of screen exposure they have, the continuous, the continuous connected that they are with digital media, and the devices, which are not only affecting them physically, but it's also hugely changing the way they think, the way they act. And as we know, as we talk about mind body body connection, so it's completely changing the way they think, and that is leading to stress. And after all, they are children, after all, they are young, and they don't know how to deal with it. They often don't even realize that they are in stress. Okay, they only bear the brunt of it. They only realize, they only understand that something or other is going wrong. And in fact, even we understand who are looking at them from without. So it's very important that when they are moving through the transition, they are moving from the life of a college to that of the campus. It's very important for them to contain themselves, to build a more balanced, more sorted personality, because I believe, and many of us would believe, even you would agree with this, that nothing really flowers or flourishes unless you are balanced, you are sorted, you have peace in here. Okay, so it all starts from here and then emanates, right? So I think in order to manage stress, there are hundreds of techniques that I'm sure, as a mentor, when I would come across these youngsters, these graduates who are raring to start their life, other than giving them the techniques, it's very also important for them to understand that they have to be their own self. They have to relax and take care of their lifestyle. They're eating, they're sleeping, they're reading, and most importantly, they're playing. The physical, the expression of energy that they have. So I think these are the things are very, very important. As a mentor, I would definitely focus on those. Let them be who they're supposed to be at this age.
Surely, ma'am, because when we look into the generation, because I am a part of that college generation as well, and when we look into our lifestyle, we have a completely messed up sleeping schedule, completely messed up eating schedule, and I think all of this also contributes to the stress that we go through sometimes.
Yes, you're right.
So I'll just move on to the next question and the next profile that we built up for you on WorqHat, and
Mhm.
it was about business English and communication skills.
Yeah.
Now, on a personal basis, even I have observed this. The better you speak, the better you are at communicating at work, the better the easier it is for you to move ahead in your professional business. And the knowledge that you have will help you grow more effectively and open up to new career opportunities. Now,
Yes.
why do you feel? This is just a overall view, or just something that I had understood from the concept of business English myself. What do you feel that business, or how do you feel that business English training is very much important for a university student?
Okay. Shagni, there are two things, rather, I would say two steps to it. First, if I consider university students, if I consider India, so um, the major chunk of India is not from the English speaking orientation. Okay, so how many university or how many college students are we seeing today who have grown up in an English speaking family? Okay, or who have been given a solid English learning or education as they grew up, or as they went to college and school. So naturally, the language, which is the language of the colonizers, unfortunately or fortunately, as you call it, is definitely not our mother tongue. Okay, that has to be acquired. Okay, it's a language that needs to be acquired. Well, it's a language that in most part of the world it's considered to be the most used language, so we are no exception. India is definitely no exception. So it's very necessary to know English, be fluent, and be correct in using it while you speak, while you read, and while you write. You are not expected to be a Shakespeare or a Shashi Tharoor. Nobody is asking you to be so. However, you're expected to be um, expressive. You're expected to be understood. Okay, the comprehension of you and the comprehension of the person you are communicating with is important. So it's not about complicated and high standard English, it's about simple, understandable English. So when we say business English or when we say communicative English, that is, you have to understand two things. One, am I speaking correct words? Am I using correct verbiage? Am I using the correct terms? Appropriate in in the sense appropriate to that industry, appropriate to the person I'm talking to. Okay, and is it kind of grammatically correct? And also, even better, if you are using the right pronunciation. Okay, so that kinds of make it foolproof. But nobody's expecting you to speak like a person whose first language is English. That is one. And the second is, more than knowing English, it's important for us to understand communication is not about a specific language. Okay, whether it's English, whether it's Bengali, whether it's Hindi, whether it's Tamil, whether it's French, whatever language you speak, communication is not about that language. Communication is the ability to create that bridge between you and the other. Okay, the perceived meaning and the sent meaning, what you understand and what you make the other person understand. You have that bridge. For that, you really don't have to depend on very high class and polished English or Hindi or Urdu, whatever it is. Okay, so you have to first understand the basics of communication: listening, speaking, reading, writing. As simple as that. Just to be a little more careful, attentive, because we're talking about business communication where you don't get much chance. Okay, you have to be absolutely alert because very limited time, very high demand, very competitive environment that you are working in. So you can't make a mistake really. So you have to be alert, you have to be careful, you have to be ready. Okay, absolutely, prepared. That is one. And the second is, it is good if you, along with that, know the language well, if you have a good grasp over the language. So I think these are the two things that you need to take care of, and if you're aware of that, everything else would fall into its own place.
Right. So because like even when I talk to university students right now, they all have this thing like I want to master the art of effective communication. Like because they feel that that is going to give them bigger opportunities when they're going for the interviews, or so that they can communicate effectively what they're feeling, what they want to express. And even I personally believe that that becomes a complete game changer for them when they're going for a
It
job
is
interview, or
absolutely.
when they're going to convince someone for a sales. When we take into the sales part of it, the better you are good at, the good you are at convincing, the best it becomes to close that sales deal. So
But the
you, as
mistake
how
is
do
that,
you?
yeah, I'm sorry to
Yes,
interrupt you. I had to, because but
it's
the mistake
absolutely
they
okay.
make is they think they want to master the art, but before master you have to be a graduate. Before graduate you have to complete your level 2. So I mean plus 2. So you have to go through these steps. That is one. And if you think you want to master the art, it doesn't mean you have to master that language. You have to master that skill. So English
Okay.
is a language, communication is a skill. Okay, so English is a language that helps in communication. It's not the other way around. Okay,
All right. So, like talking from a university student's point of view, like can you just run us through some tips, so that we can go ahead and develop our, a better communication skill, as you mentioned, like some
keep your
tips so
ears
that we
and
can build.
eyes open. First of all, be a very
Okay.
good listener. If you want to be a good
Okay.
communicator, you have to be an excellent listener. In order to be an excellent listener, you have to be patient. You have to be genuine. You have to be involved. So, as I said, it all comes from here. You want to communicate well, then you communicate well. You want to be focused, then you are focused. Okay, you want to be empathic. Okay, you want to put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand what the other person is asking for, then you are empathic. You show empathy. Okay, I'm just giving you a couple of small little things about
Absolutely.
it. Okay, so first of all, listening, speaking, listen to a lot of good communication. Also, good communication. Now you can talk about English. Listen, if you think communication, your medium for communication primarily would be English, then listen to a lot of good English. You don't have to listen to people speaking in Hollywood movies. No, you can listen to people who are speaking neutral English. It's okay. It's absolutely fine. Just see how they are, engaging the people around them, how they are making an impact on them. Okay, because it's all about, do I understand you and do you understand me? Are we on the same page? If yes, our work is done. Okay, come out of your inhibition. A lot of people, because they think, oh, my English is not good, I don't want to speak if I say something wrong, or maybe if my pronunciation goes somewhere else, or if people make fun of me, if they laugh at me, let it be. If you don't make mistakes, you would never learn. But for that, you have to open your mouth first. You have to start speaking. You have to come out of that fear. So come out of that fear. Listen, speak means listen well, speak a lot, practice a lot, read a lot. You have to develop your vocabulary. How do you do that? You have to read. You have to read articles. You have to read good books. You have to read anything that comes across, any good writing, I'm saying. Okay. and and then writing, of course, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Because as an employee of an organization, you probably have to write 100 mails every day. Okay, emails, you have to write minutes of meeting, you have to write agendas, you have to write letters. So, and to whom? To your clients, to your seniors, to people, to your counterparts in different other countries. So there, using a wrong word or a wrong term or just a wrong way of salutation, or a very casual approach in your writing, can really make a huge difference in how you're understood and how your business goes. So you have to be careful about that. So these are the four things that you have to practice, basically. And yeah, so be fearless, be um, okay with your mistakes, give yourself that chance. It doesn't come like a magic. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to, be with it. You have to continue working on it. Even I'm learning every day. I know I'm making 10 100 mistakes when I'm talking to you now, but should I stop doing that? Of course not. I will probably listen to it later and say, I should have said something else here. I pronounced it wrongly there. I will keep on analyzing and criticizing myself. So that's absolutely fine. So that's okay. That's a part of the game. That's how
it's
you
it's a-
proceed.
it's always about learning throughout your lives. The more you
Yes.
learn, the more you'll be able to
Yeah. Yeah.
go
It is
ahead.
absolutely.
and,
Yeah.
and you have got this 12 years of experience as a mentor, so you can
Mhm.
actually pass on a lot of self learning that you have learned along this entire journey through the students,
Yes, of course. Yeah, I
and
do that.
that is what is going to add a value to that entire session that we can conduct with them
Yeah.
on a one-to-one basis. So now, as we are again coming to another closing year of the colleges, like
Mhm.
placement season is very near, and over and above communication skills, what all skills do you think the students and fresh graduates need to develop? See, one thing that comes into my mind right now is problem solving skills, but apart from that, what all are the employability skills that are going to help the students and fresh graduates?
Okay. Okay. Teamwork, collaboration, um, teamwork, collaboration, negotiation, um, creativity, um, leadership, a little bit of developing your leadership qualities. Then presentation skills, very very important. You have to writing, as I said, communicate. Writing also anyways is the part of communication. Then handling interviews, because they are not now going to face campusing. They're now going to face the recruiters. So handling interviews would be important here. So these are, to begin with, these would be the primary skills. Okay, that they can focus on. And then, of course, time management. Did I mention time management? If not, then yes, time management. um, Time and stress management for sure. Yes. And organizing themselves, planning and prioritizing, which comes as a part of time and stress management. And then, of course, business etiquette, grooming, ethics, business ethics. um, then, of course, later it would be customer orientation, service orientation, because after all, it's a customer driven world that they're going to enter. No matter which industry they join. So they have to understand, but well, they have to understand the other person's perspective, because I always say this, that this is always a customer and a service provider relationship that we are into. Even my mother and I, we are customer and service providers to each other. Somebody is asking for a service and I'm providing to, okay, and somebody is buying it. So for them, they have to understand that as well. So that is very important, because all their communication, all their preparation would be, driven towards that. It's very, very important. They have to generate business, uh, so they have to be focused on that as well. And then of course there would be lot many more which would come
Right.
in the week.
Right. So, like, it was great connecting with you today, because see, even I as a student got to know so much regarding the entire communication skills and the employability skills. And I'm pretty much sure that if the students can get to connect with you either on a group or in one-to-one session, they will have a lot to take away from every session from you. So as we conclude this session with you, there is one last thing that I would like to ask you. As I mentioned, the campus placement season is coming up and everything is happening. What would you just give away some tips for the university students, or what they should focus on in order to build their future much more brighter and help build a better career path?
Okay. If I think from the recruiter's perspective, which is their immediate next step, every recruiter wants to hire an original, self motivated, an enthusiastic, creative, genuine, original person. So focus more on your personality development, developing yourself as somebody genuine. Don't be a clone, or don't try to duplicate. Don't try to read up from Google and mug up and vomit out in front of your recruiters. They're not looking at that. They're looking at how self-assured you are, how agile you are when you think. Okay. How um, you know mm, how managed and how poised you are when it comes to challenges. Yeah, of course, I mean, given your age and your experience, how managed you are, and how original thinking you bring to the table. That's exactly they're looking at. So be yourself, know your skills, go there with your skills ready, but go there as an original person, as a self assured, as a composed, and as an energetic, enthusiastic person. They should know that somebody I'm hiring is a person who enjoys self, because at the end of the day, that person should be able to enjoy work and life at the same time. That's most important.
It's like students are going forward for this for the entire interview season, and there are students who are like, what do I do with the interviews? There are many who are scared as well. So do you want to suggest them something, the ones who are scared of interviews?
Well, if they're scared of interviews, there are 10 things that, as a mentor, I can suggest them. So when they connect with me, I'm going to tell them that these are the questions they might be expecting. This is how they are going to prepare themselves. This is how they're going to, prepare their introduction. These are the things. This is a way they can, prepare their, resume. So all these are, you know tips, as you call it. All these are techniques, as you call it. So that is one thing. And of course, they should have a good grasp over the skills, that the primary skill, or the technical skills that they have trained themselves on. So that is what. And as I said already, I mean, there are no, there are no exact. Okay, so you have if you want to crack your interview, 10 things that you have to do, and you're going to crack your interview that way. You never know what kind of questions would come up, and what kind of answers they would be expecting from you. You cannot be fully sure about that. So from my perspective, as far as I am aware, um, you have to go prepared. And of course, you have to know a little about what's happening in the world, what's happening in the the trade that they're going to join. So they have to be, updated. They have to be aware of the world, the current affairs. All these are, I mean, I'm sure they already are. They're important.
Exactly.
um, they have to keep in mind these as well.
Right. So with this, we come to the end of the session, and thank you, ma'am, once again for being here with us today, and thank you
You're
for
welcome,
being a
Shad.
very important part of the Work at Mentors family. And I'm very
My
much sure
pleasure.
that the students will be able to take away a lot of learnings from you when they connect with you on the sessions and even from this video as well. And we look forward to connecting with you again. It was my pleasure to have you here today, and thank you. So thank you, ma'am, for being here. Have a good day. Bye.
You're welcome, Shad. Make all the best to work at, and you too
Thank
have
you,
a
ma'am.
good day. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Bye bye.
Welcome. Bye.